I'm Lexi. I'm in the US. I actually filmed the intro to this video the other day, but it was like 2 in the morning and my lighting ended up being awful. So for the first half of this video, some of the picture-in-picture shots are going to be a little dark. I'm sorry, it should be okay for the rest of the video. It's afternoon now. But as I tried to say then, it is quickly approaching summer. And last year, I meal prepped a whole bunch of meat for the grill, and it really ended up being one of the best things I've ever done. It took so much mental load off when I was dealing with the garden and all of the summer craziness to just be able to fire up the grill, pull out a bag of meat, and there's dinner. And the most mental effort I had to put in was what vegetable am I going to throw on the grill to go with it. So I am absolutely doing that again this year. And we've done some of my favorites from last year because we should eat the things we like, right? But I've also got a few new recipes. So with no further delay, let's jump back to a few days ago when I started this video. And then I'll see you when we continue on with better lighting. This year, to make things a little more streamlined, I've already put all of the meat, I've already cut it up into the size pieces that I want it and put it into bags. So over here, it might be just on camera, you'll see some Ziploc bags, but we're going to make the marinade first. We're going to start with a new one. And I wanted to do a Greek marinade. For the Greek marinade, I'm going to do a total of 5 meals, 2 chicken and 3 lamb. So I'm going to go ahead, and I've never done this marinade before, so I'm not 100% sure how much I need. We're just going to wing this. I'm going to go ahead and use almost this whole container of Greek yogurt. It's going to look like I'm using the whole container of Greek yogurt, but I took a serving out of it last night. I needed a snack. Okay, Greek yogurt. And then we can use this Greek yogurt container as a little trash can for the duration. The next thing we're going to do is I have already zested 5 lemons because I didn't want to stand here on camera and zest 5 lemons. Do I need the zest of 5 lemons? I don't know. But if I was making one of these bags, I would use the zest of 1 lemon. So I zested 5 lemons. There we go. And then some salt. Trying to remember that this is a lot of meat, so I'm going to do a fair bit of salt. Same thing with the pepper. And a good healthy amount of oregano. I am mixing this in a bowl instead of mixing it right into the bags. That way I can taste it as I go. I am going to wait and add the garlic individually to the bags because this is frozen, although it's thawing kind of quick. I want to make sure that garlic ends up in each bag and not just a lump in one of them. I left my lemon juicer in the drawer. Give me a sec. Lemon juicer. I had to get the zest from those 5 lemons somewhere, so I got 5 lemons. And again, do I need all 5 lemons? I don't know. But if I was making just one of these, I would be starting at least with half a lemon. So, and also we can taste this. So I'm gonna put in a few lemons and then, oops, and then give it a taste. Now, if you ever juice more than like 1 lemon at a time, One of these is definitely something you want to invest in. For the longest time, I survived juicing citrus by just by hand. Wow, I am squirting this everywhere, aren't I? But this is really a game changer if you're doing more than one. If you're doing a bunch of marinades or pretty much anything that's more than one. Okay, give this a stir. Now I will have to remember that I didn't forgot olive oil. This needs olive oil. About that much. I will have to remember when tasting this that the garlic isn't in it. But I should be able to get a fair representation of the flavor. Maybe I should be using a whisk. If you don't want to stir this by hand, you could always make it right in a blender. I hate washing my blender. Maybe if I had a dishwasher, I would not hate it so much. Yeah, okay. We are going to taste this. We do not need all the lemons. I ended up using, that was a bit of pepper I bit into. I ended up using 5 halves, so 2.5 lemons, and it's nice and tart. But I am going to add some more oregano, a little bit more salt, Does anyone else double the spoon use by using the back of the spoon for a second taste? A little bit more oregano, but the salt's good this time. And then I'm just going to take my lemon juicer and these extra lemons, and I will deal with them later. Where can they live for now? Over here. And what was this? That's the oregano. So pull this over here and bring in our meat. 3 lambs. And 2 chickens. A nice chunk of garlic in each one. 1, 2, 3, that was a lot. That's a smaller chunk and that's got less meat in it. And that one. Yeah, I should have enough garlic for today. And then you know what? I want a cookie scoop. This will help me divide this marinade evenly. Could I pour it? Yes. Would that result in one less dish? Yes. And probably a little bit more mess or a little bit less mess since I've already spilled now twice. But I just felt like this was the way to go. Yep, this was not the way to go. I'm dripping everywhere. Okay, don't do what I did. Don't use the cookie scoop. It's not the way to go. I was wrong. Probably mixing this in something pourable is the way to go. But I didn't think I had a measuring cup big enough. My biggest measuring cup is a 4-cup. And I have yet to invest in a 6-cup liquid measuring cup. I will try to do that before next summer, when I will doubtlessly be doing this again, because I truly, truly love this meal prepping. And you know, I never thought that I was going to be one of those people to meal prep marinated meat. I'm like, it's just meat. You're just doing all this work just to keep meat in another container in your fridge or in your freezer. But now that I've done it, I won't go back. I don't think I'd do it for cooking in the house, but then I don't usually marinate meat to cook in the house. I only marinate grill meat. Why? I don't know. Okay. Wipe down my spills. And then we have the most fun step, which is squish. Squish to distribute. And then we're going to flatten these so that they freeze relatively flat. I am going to squish and flatten the rest of these, clean up my mess, and reset for the next recipe. So I will see you back in just a minute. Okay, so I've gotten reset, and this one is one we did last year. This is harissa lime, and it was one I really liked. For this recipe this year, I am going to do 6 portions, 2 in chicken, 2 in lamb, and 2 in beef. I think last year we just did the chicken and the beef, but I had some extra lamb, so I decided to go ahead and do this recipe with it. Because I'm doing 6, I'm going to do... That one was already open, that's why you didn't hear it pop. I'm going to go ahead and do like a container and a half of harissa paste. We can always add a little more if we need it. And honey. Why are these things always so hard to open? Now the harissa paste that I used last year got discontinued, I think. I at least can't find it on Amazon anymore. And I don't think I'm a real big fan of this one. So if any of you have a particular harissa paste that you like, let me know, because I don't think I'm happy with this one. I definitely don't like it as well as the other one I was using. I'm going to add, again, this is a lot of meat, so I'm going to go with a good pinch of salt, or a couple of them, and then some olive oil. Everything needs pepper, right? And for this one, I already put the garlic in the bags as I was putting the bags onto the bag holders. Probably don't need as much pepper in this one. And then a bit of lime juice for some acidity. We don't need a whole bunch. That's probably good. What did I do with my spoon? Nobody sees my spoon, do they? The purple one? Oh, I know where I left it. This one will work. Okay. Give this a taste. I want a bit more lime in that. And I'm gonna get, there's less of this marinade, so I'm gonna get something to pour with. And I retrieved my purple spoon too. Because I have the purple spoon, that means I can go ahead and taste it again with this one. That's good. But yeah, this harissa isn't nearly as spicy as the other one was. That gave me 2 cups of marinade. That does not feel like enough for all 6. Apparently I'm not getting anything else out of that jar. For all 6 of these bags. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up the other half jar of marinade. And I will have to put harissa on my grocery list, because I thought picking up 1 jar was going to give me enough that I'd still have some in my fridge at the end of this. And I'm recognizing that this is not a great deal of additional marinade, but I just don't see 2 cups being enough for 6 pounds of meat. Lime, salt, a little more honey. There we go. Now this should work out a whole lot better than my ice cream scooper. I'm going to set this in the sink. So we've got 2 beef. That one doesn't want to stand up so good. 2 chicken in these bags that are supposed to stand up on their own, and we are hoping that they do so. And 2 lamb, and I think I might be moving off camera with that, sorry. Now I have 2.5 cups of marinade, which it's just under a half cup per bag. So we're going to be conservative to start to make sure they all get some. And then we can go back and add more. Actually, it looks like I had a pretty good eye for that in the first place. Okay. And then we've got the usual step of squish and flatten. And we've got 6 more marinated meats in the bank. I'm going to reset all this, and I'll be back for our next recipe. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and build it right in the bags because it doesn't pour real good. This is also one that we did last year. This is the za'atar Aleppo. And I've talked about za'atar a few times. The first thing that's going in this one is garlic. And it's I don't remember where it's from now. It's been a while since we've talked about this. I will look it up and put it down here. And I think Aleppo is from the same region. but I really liked this mix, so I'm doing it again. We've got garlic. We're going to put in some salt. We're going to put in a little bit of lime juice. Not too much in this one, just a little hint of acidity. Some olive oil. About that much. I don't know what I'd do if I had to cook with actual amounts. I'm sure some of you out there are like me. And I'm sure the ones of you out there that aren't like me, this drives you crazy. Some pepper. Oh, and I didn't say, for this recipe we're doing 2 chicken and 2 beef. And then we need the flagship ingredients, za'atar. Doesn't that look yummy? I'm running a little light on za'atar. This also needs to get added to the grocery list. Tiny bit more because I can. And because I went a little conservative since I was running out. And Aleppo pepper. Aleppo pepper has a slightly smoky flavor. A little bit of heat to it, but not too intense. Like I could take a pinch of this and eat it and be okay. And time for the regular squish and flatten, which I'll go ahead and do with this one so you can kind of see what it looks like. This one isn't, I mean, it's clearly not a saucy marinade. It's more of a rub, but it came out really nicely last year, so I wanted to eat it again because we should eat the things we enjoy. But yeah, it just kind of looks like that in the bag. I'm going to squish and flatten the rest of these, and when I come back, I'm going to be wearing different clothes because it's actually going to be a different day. Because as much as I'd like to film this whole video in one day, I cannot thaw the amount of meat that I'm processing in this video in my fridge in one day. It just doesn't all fit. But through the magic of YouTube, I'll see you in a minute. Okay. So I'm going to try and go through the rest of these a little bit faster than the first 3 because I've already edited the first part of this video and it's a little long if I'm going to be doing 8 recipes, and that's the plan here. So next is, this is something that I came up with quite by accident last year, and it might just be my favorite of all the marinades we're going to do today. Why will this not open? It's going to sound a little bit weird, but it's a maple syrup, mustard, and soy sauce marinade. This is the real maple syrup, the good stuff. And I know it's expensive, but it's worth it. And this is a full pint of it, 16 ounces. And you want an equal part soy sauce, or at least close. This is a 15-ounce bottle. And I'm going to call that equal. Why are none of these perforated or opening nicely? Okay. So the whole bottle of soy sauce and another seal. How many seals am I going to have to open today? Maybe we should keep count. Maybe it should be a game. Okay, whole bottle of soy sauce. This bowl is not big enough, and if I'd done the math, I'd have realized that. Hang on. Okay, I got a bigger bowl, and I got a Band-Aid, because you need to not do what I did and cut yourself with the scissors while opening soy sauce. And I somehow didn't get a spoon. A whisk will work. Okay, so we have a pint of maple syrup, a pint of soy sauce. This mustard is only 12 ounces. We're going to see what it tastes like after I add it all in there. And I did not do this the way I meant to do this. Okay, one moment. I said I was going to do this fast, so I'm trying to rush, and that's just making me make mistakes. So we're going to take a breath, we're going to slow down, and we're going to do this at the speed it needs to be done, and hopefully it all fits into one reasonably lengthed video. I'm shaking this up with some of the soy sauce because I want to get all of the mustard out of here. We're going to have to do that a second time. Okay. That's the whole thing of mustard. That can go in the garbage. Ladle can sit over here, and the whisk is what we need. Just like last time, I've already put garlic in the individual bags so that I don't have to worry about it being a chunk. We're going to add some pepper. There's enough salt in the soy sauce. I don't need to add salt to this. Okay, and give it a little taste. Thinking it's actually not stirred real well because I'm not getting any of the sweetness of the maple. We'll try stirring it from the bottom to the top. That's better. The mustard seems pretty good to me, so I'm going to call this good. Okay, we're going to try and dump from the bowl into the bags. For this one, I've got 2 bags of pork and 2 bags of beef. This also works very well on salmon. And that one's easy. That's all it takes. Like I said, the garlic's already in here. And this is probably my favorite one we're doing of the whole bunch. Squish. There's a lot of liquid in this one. I probably didn't need quite as much marinade as I made up. But we've got it now. And now next year I'll know I don't need to make a full pint of maple syrup's worth. But I'm going to set these aside, reset, and I'll see you in a minute. This is one that I did last year. Honey mustard, chicken, and pork. And I really didn't expect I would like this one last year because historically I haven't liked honey mustard, but it was one of my favorite ones. So of course I'm going to make it again. This is another bottle of that same exact mustard as from the last marinade. I put like a tablespoon of water in the bottle to shake it up and get the rest of the mustardy goodness out. I put garlic in each bag already. We're going to add some pepper. We are going to add a hefty pinch of salt, maybe a little more. And then what else do we need for honey mustard? Honey. Just going to play this a little bit by ear. Give that a mix and see how it tastes. Woo! That is some intense mustard. And it clearly needs more honey. And more pepper, too. The salt's okay, though. But you can see here, this is the 5th recipe I've done on this video so far. It doesn't take a lot to throw these together. And it really doesn't take any more time to do 4 or 6 than it does 1. So by doing this all at one time, I am saving myself so much time later in the summer. Much better. Much better. I don't want it, a little more honey. I don't want it too sweet, but I want it a little sweeter than it is. Okay. That should be plenty. Someone remind me, like, in January, to get myself a 4-cup measuring cup, because that would definitely make this process easier. And then I'm just going to pour this in. Did I say what we were doing here? I've got 2 pork and 2 chicken. I keep forgetting to tell all of you that. And we're going to do some squishing. And some flattening. And there's 4 more in the bank. Once again, I'm going to reset, and I'll see you back in just a minute. This is one that we did something similar last year. Last year I did a maple chipotle, and I think I only did it with pork and beef. This year I'm going to do a honey chipotle. Could I still go with maple? Yeah, but I feel like honey is going to fit a little bit better. And we're going to do it in all 3. Beef, chicken, and pork. So I've got 3 cans of chipotles and adobo, just the little cans. And I've got more in the pantry if I decide this isn't enough. But from the looks of just the first one, I think it will be. Now, if you would rather put this in a blender so that you've got all the peppers blended up, that's great. Go for it. We have addressed before that I hate washing my blender, but also I kind of like being able to put the peppers, or at least a couple of them, on the grill itself and have almost like a built-in side dish. So that's 3 cans of peppers, and I'm going to add some lime juice, about that much, and I'm going to add some cumin, about that much. I do have more in the pantry, and some pepper. Now, if you like cilantro, by all means, put cilantro in this. I don't like cilantro. I am not one of those people who it tastes like soap for. I just don't like it. We are all allowed things we just don't like. And then a couple of hefty pinches of salt. And you know, I think I'm probably going to just put the rest of this honey in. Well, maybe not. That actually feels like kind of a lot. Get this stirred up. Marinating meats might sound daunting, like, oh, it's this huge other step. It's really not. You just throw some stuff together and let the meat sit in it for a while. And do you like the taste of something? Do you think it's a good flavor combination? Try it as a marinade. It's really that easy. Okay, that looks pretty good. Whoa! I regret doing that just a little bit. That is spicy. That is not the brand of chipotles I used last year. You know, we're going to let this honey sit upside down for a minute. Okay, salt and pepper are good. Needs some more lime. As far as the amount of cumin, it blew my taste buds out before I could really tell. And it needs more honey. And I need a drink, so. And this is just iced tea. Whew. Might not be cooking those peppers after all. I guess in retrospect, even though I might not be cooking them, I'm probably pretty happy I didn't blend them up either, if it's that spicy. Now, I'm sure that once it's marinated into the meat and I take the actual peppers off of it and cook it, it will be a perfectly acceptable spice level. But to just eat a spoonful of it, I was not expecting that. That heat level is more than any of the Hot Ones stuff that I tried in this month's new snack videos. The ramens and the one Pringles chip. Okay, I think I've gotten all the honey that is going to be gotten out of that bottle. Now, as much as I don't want to taste this again, smaller taste this time. That's better. I know it wasn't a lot more honey, but that really did help. The lime helped, and frankly, the smaller taste helped. So, I've got 2 chicken, 2 pork, and 2 beef here, and I think I pulled these too far forward. Something like that should be close. They all have garlic in them already because that's what we do right here. And I'm going to just put some of this in each one. This one's a little more challenging to portion because we've got solid peppers and liquid marinade. But we shall overcome. Okay, this one looks like a good place to start our squishing and flattening. And we now have honey chipotle chicken, pork, and beef. Time for another reset. Welcome back. So I've only got 2 left. I know, I'm doing a lot, but I wanted to make enough to last well into the fall until it's really too cold to grill. And I don't like to eat the same thing repeatedly. So the fact that I'm even making 2 of each meat, or like 4 of one flavor and 2 meats, that's kind of a lot for me. But I have been really into peanut sauce lately. And frankly, I'm a little scared as to how this is going to do on the grill. But I've seen some recipes online, so I know it's possible. And I cooked it under a blender, and it came out pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and try it for the grill. And you know what? I'm going to make the whole jar of peanut butter worth, because I can save and freeze what's left if I don't put it in with the meat, and then I can use it for a sauce for noodles or vegetables or whatever I feel like having peanut sauce on that day. Okay, whole jar of peanut butter. And then this is one of my favorite things to have in the kitchen. It's a sweet chili sauce, and honestly, it's a little hard to find, but I think it's delicious. Not too spicy. I mean, clearly not too spicy because of the amount I'm putting in. But we're going to start with that. And we are not going to cut ourselves on the second bottle of soy sauce. See, we learn. Not always fast enough, but we do. And it's not actually open yet. There. Now this time I'm not going to add the whole bottle. I forgot there was another seal. Why are there 2 seals? If you're going to put this kind of seal on it, why are you putting the seal on it that I can't get off? Or that I have to cut off? Or if you're going to put a seal that I have to cut off, why are you going to put one of these on? Can we just go with one kind of seal, please? Not that much. And then some rice wine vinegar. Not too much. And a little bit of sesame oil. A couple of tablespoons. About like that. The garlic is already in the bags, and I wanted ginger in this. I bought ginger for this, and we are using it. Yes, I know that you're supposed to be able to peel ginger with a spoon. That has never worked incredibly well for me. So I'm just going to use the peeler and do the best I can. And then grate it on the microplane. like so. We'll see how that tastes. Now this is one that I am 100% sure would benefit from a blender. Still not going to use a blender. I'll let you watch me struggle for a minute, and then we'll cut to where I have this all mixed up. Okay. Perfect. That is good. Okay. You know what comes next? In the bags it goes. Remember to myself that I don't have to put all of this in there. Okay. And then this I'm going to put in some little jars and just freeze for later. And that should work out beautifully. I'm going to squish and flatten and reset, and we have one more I'm going to try. See you in a second. This last one, I thought I'd do something a little different. I wanted to do what I'm calling a pantry marinade, to show you how easy it is to build a marinade out of just anything you've got laying around. And okay, maybe this one isn't that much of a stretch, but I realized none of my other marinades, other than the peanut, is really like an Asian flavor profile. And I've clearly got most of a bottle of soy sauce left over, and some sesame oil, and some rice vinegar, and plenty of garlic. And I'm just going to start throwing some stuff together and make a vaguely Asian marinade. Because last year we did a bulgogi one, a little bit of pepper, that for some reason didn't turn out as well as it had the year before. The year before I didn't do a video on this. I was just grilling to learn how to grill. But, and we still got some ginger left, so let's use that up too. And then I did the garlic ginger chicken last year, and it was good, but there were better ones. So, because I do really like Asian flavors, I thought, let's just wing it this year. Do something vaguely generically Asian. That's probably a lot of ginger. The garlic's already in the bags. Oh, and we're doing 2 of each of the meats for this, beef, chicken, and pork. And you know what? I think we're also going to throw some crushed pineapple into this, because it sort of is speaking teriyaki to me, and I know that there's pineapple or pineapple juice in a lot of teriyakis. This is already a crushed pineapple, so I'm not real concerned about blending it up. Yeah, 1 more spoon. Time to taste. Needs more pineapple. Still needs more pineapple. Let's go ahead and put in the whole can. Didn't think I was going to need that much. Kind of sad I don't have a bite or two of that for later. Better. May have gone a little heavy on the sesame oil, but I think it'll be okay. I don't like using a lot of sesame oil when I'm cooking inside, but when I'm cooking outside, I don't mind it as much. Sorry, I just realized that that is totally off camera for you. I'm sorry. I pushed all the bags back so that you could see what I was doing and forgot to move them forward. But let's go ahead. I think I might have put a little bit too much in the first couple of bags, not leaving enough for the other ones. Yeah. But that's all it takes, and I've got Pantry Marinade 2025, roughly teriyaki. So I will, of course, do the squish and flatten on all of these and put all of that in the freezer and have a whole summer full of happy grilling. I am wishing you happy grilling as well. Let me know down below if you're going to try any of these, or what's your favorite recipe to grill. Maybe your favorite recipe will show up on this video next year. But that's all I've got for today. So if you could hit that like button and subscribe if you're not already, I'd really appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you next time.